Hello, it's nice to be with you again, isn't it, Ronnie?
Yes, it is. And in a packed programme tonight, the well-known Scots drunkard, Duncan McHoot, will play Amazing Grace on the breathalyzer.
Our fashion reporter will be presenting the very latest thing in women's clothes, David Bowie.
For sports fans, there'll be rugby with Eddie Waring, boxing with Eddie Tiring, and archaeology with Eddie Downright Boring.
And we'll be talking to a man who crossed a Gordon Highlander with a mousetrap and got a squeaky jockstrap.
And a farmer... and a farmer who crossed a field with Susan Hampshire and got nothing at all.
But first, the news. A beautiful young Swedish nudist was rescued today by the crew of a Scottish trawler. To save her embarrassment, they quickly covered her with an old Macintosh. Mr. Angus Macintosh of Fife,
who was delighted, you were going to say. The art world. The engagement was announced today between the famous post-impressionist Madeleine Leclerc and Percy Edwards, the famous animal impersonator. They met when he was giving his impression of a dog and she was giving her impression of a post.
In the National Folk Dancing Festival at Blatchford yesterday, the crowd became so excited, police had to link arms and hold them back. They were pushed forwards 4 times, but each time they struggled back again. The police were commended for the restraint and awarded first prize in the hokey cokey.
A survey on the labelling of toilet doors has just announced its findings today. In most undertakers, the doors are labelled his and hers. In a Franciscan monastery, the doors were labelled silent order and out of order. And the civil service, of course, has 3 doors marked in, out, and pending.
But here's a news flash. Electricity reductions were so severe in London this evening that at Wembley Greyhound Stadium, the electric hair came in third.
And all the blue lamps turned to red, enabling policewoman Shirley Wainwright to make 3 arrests and 7 guineas.
But now, a sketch that features Mr. Ronnie Barker, who today won the Nobel Prize for creating the perfect vacuum. How did you do it, Ronnie?
Oh, it was nothing, really.
Oh, I must introduce you to Harry Gubbins. He's the life and soul of the party.
Oh, good, good.
Harry, darling, this is Rodney.
Hello, Harry.
I'm sorry, but my dog died today.
Oh dear. How awful. Listen,
My dog died.
Yes, why don't you have a nice drink, eh?
I don't want a runny drink. My dog died today,
Oh, how inconsiderate of me. I'll just take my jacket off if you don't
He's dead.
Yes, well, he would be, yes.
He used to sleep on an old jacket just like that.
I say, it's awfully rude of me.
What are you looking at the chickens for? They're not like dogs. They don't wag their tails when you come home.
No, I suppose, no, I never have seen a chicken wag its tail, no.
What am I going to do? What am I going to do?
Well, why don't you have a nice cocktail, look?
Wolf found with a dash of Pekingese, he was.
No, this is a stuffed olive with a dash of martini.
His favourite plaything used to be an old pair of trousers like these ones you're wearing.
An old pair of trousers?
An old pair like those, yes.
Just like the ones I'm wearing?
What are you trying to do to me?
I'm awfully sorry. I wouldn't have come in them if I'd known. Listen, tell me, how old was he when he died?
Trouser?
Yes.
Trouser would have been 37 in October. 37
Well, that's no great age, is it? No, we had a tortoise once, you know, that attained that age. Then it laid an egg.
Trouser never laid an egg, you know.
Well, I'm sure it wasn't for want of trying.
No.
Yes. What about something nice to eat, eh?
No,
Look.
no.
Chocolate mousse?
No, not chocolate mousse.
His favourite food, is it?
His favourite food, yes,
food.
absolutely favourite.
Oh.
And I can't bear to look at it.
just go away now.
Don't go away. No. That's what he did. That's what Townsend did. He went away and left me dogless.
Oh.
Hello, Harry? Oh, what a funny little man. Oh, Harry, you've been playing one of your jokes again.
Yes. Yes, the old my dog died this morning routine. Oh, it worked a treat. It's nice to meet someone who can take a joke these days.
Rodney! Rodney! It isn't that sort of party.
Oh, isn't it? I was told it was. A friend of mine said it's the sort of party where you take your trousers off and throw a moose at each other.
Oh, look, I brought dear Mrs. Wisbury to talk to you.
Sorry about the mess, Mrs. Wisbury. Someone was just telling me how his dog died.
My goldfish passed away in the night.
Did he? What did he do, drown himself? Well, come in.
Good evening. I want to speak to you tonight about the water shortage. Now, there have been rumours that the government are washing their hands of the whole problem, but we're not, because there isn't any water. There's even been a ridiculous rumour that the cows in the northeast are giving dried milk. Now, let me deal with that one straight away. It's true. How bad is the crisis? Well, here is a chart showing Britain's goldfish reserves, which have been left high and dry, as you see. Now, yesterday, in the annual River Thames fishing contest, the winner caught a 7-pound ferret. Indeed, I myself, on Thursday, travelled by train from Manchester to London, and I didn't pass water once. Well then, what are we in the government doing about the water shortage? The answer is simple: nothing. Or to put it another way, here is a map with the affected areas marked in red. Or if you have a black and white television set, marked in purple. Now, for the time being, the Lake District will be known as the Puddle District. Barges will sail along the Grand Union mud bath here, and of course, Waterloo becomes Elsan. Now, our boffins have noticed that there's very little water shortage out at sea, so in future, all reservoirs will be built here on the Dogger Bank. They'll have a hole in the top to let the rain in, and a hole in the side to let the trawlers out. Now, here is a picture... Now, here is a picture of Gladys Whipsnade, which brings me to sport. Now, this... It may not bring you to sport, but that's what it brings me to. This is bound to be affected by a complete lack of water. However, next week, there will be treacle skiing at Ruislip. And at Ascot, the water will only be turned on Ladies' Day, but we hope the ladies will be turned on every day. From now on, all showers will be useless. And talking of useless showers, the Cabinet have solemnly promised... No, they have solemnly promised that when the sewage at Westminster reaches danger level, they will step in. Now, here is a map that makes it all simple. And here is the real map, which makes it all look a ghastly mess. Now, there is one good piece of news. The Channel Tunnel is now complete, and as it slopes the other way, we can put all our sewage where it really belongs, France. Now, what can you do about it at home? Well, firstly, you can buy our new economy watering can. And you know, we can't have everyone washing down their cars every Sunday. Do it on a Wednesday. Try to combine going to the toilet with cleaning the windows. If your whiskey is too strong, always add a drop of gin. And how about making tea without water, using a tea bag? Now here I have a picture of a typical bag. That's Gladys Whipsnade again. Now here is a teapot, and remember, it's 1 spoonful per person and 1 for the pot. Shake well and pour yourself a nice cup of tea leaves. Like that. There we are. If you're still dry, why not try a refreshing sip of peanut butter? It's delicious eventually. I have to end with something, so I end with an emergency message. It's for single girls in the London area. From now on, you're asked to share your bathrooms with other girls, as only the bathroom at Buckingham Palace will have continuous water. Or to sum up, it's either 2 players or a royal flush. Good night.
I say, Tony.
What?
Remember old Mr. What's-his-name used to come in the pub?
Who?
Used to come in with that big woman, you know.
Don't know who you mean.
That big woman used to wear a fur coat, lived near Dennis's mother's.
Dennis who?
You
What
know,
big woman?
You know that big woman lived near Dennis. You remember Dennis? Dennis with masses of dark hair, you know. And his sallow boy, big with it. used to work for that printers at Caterham.
What printers?
You remember the printers that were supposed to have done all Winston Churchill's visiting cards during the war?
Who?
Winston Churchill, the war leader. Oh, my God. Winston Churchill, the one who's supposed to save us from the clutches of Adolf.
Adolf who?
Hitler, Adolf Hitler. Don't mean to tell me you don't know who Adolf Hitler is.
Of course I know who Adolf Hitler is. Not a moron, Harold.
Oh, well, don't start off. Well, then.
Well, what?
Well, he's dead.
Who? Hitler?
Hitler, not Hitler, silly queen. I'm talking about... What I mean is that Churchill saved us from the clutches of Hitler.
Well, what about it?
Well, all I'm trying to tell you is that Winston Churchill used to have his visiting cards done at this firm in Caterham where Dennis works.
Dennis who?
Dennis, the chap whose mother lives near the woman in the fur coat.
What woman?
Oh, dear. The woman in the fur coat, the big woman who used to come into the pub with Mr. What's-his-name?
Turner?
Turner, yes, him, Turner.
Well, what about him?
Well, he's dead.
Well, they never proved it. He might be living under another name in South America. Cheers, old boy. Nice pub, this, isn't it? Dashed attractive, don't you think?
I've been watching you.
Hey, old boy, what are you going to have to drink, eh?
You've been gazing insultingly at my wife.
Nonsense. Come on, have another drink. What will it be, barman?
I'm warning you, you've been staring in an indecent manner at my wife's figure.
Absolute rubbish, old man. I wouldn't do a thing like that. Good heavens. Nothing was further from my thoughts. Barman, 2 large bosoms, please.
Oh, Edward. So you're out here, are you?
No.
Edward, you're avoiding me, aren't you? We haven't danced all evening.
I've been dancing.
Yes, but with someone else. People will talk.
Why? Tom and I are very good friends.
But I'm your wife.
Tom's a better dancer.
Oh, very well, Edward. Go ahead and have fun.
Yeah, all right. All right.
I don't have much fun, you know.
Yeah.
I've been out all night warming the milk, mashing the rusks, shivering in the cold, changing nappers. I wouldn't mind so much if we had a baby.
We used to have one. What happened to it?
He went to Harrow graduated to Sandhurst, climbed the south face of the Matterhorn, and he's now the Archbishop of York.
It's time he changed his own nappy.
Oh, Edward, I feel so alone. Cast adrift like a little boat in a dark, heaving, stormy ocean, tossing and floundering, rising and falling, rising and falling.
Oh, Phyllis, don't.
Am I making you understand?
No, you're making me seasick.
Edward, you just don't care. You don't even bring me flowers anymore.
I did last week.
That wreath?
I risked my life for that wreath. That hearse was travelling at over 30 miles an hour.
Oh, Edward. And don't think I don't know about your carrying on. I saw you in there just now, holding that girl by the rostrum.
I was not. I was holding her by the elbow, if you mind.
But don't you ever think how I feel?
I know how you feel. I wanted to feel how she felt.
Oh, Edward, how could you?
Oh, you're such a little innocent.
No, I'm not.
Oh, so you admit it?
What?
I do know, you know.
What do you know?
Well, I could be wrong.
No, I suppose you mean about Nigel and me.
Oh, I was wrong. I thought it was Rupert.
Rupert? No, it wasn't Rupert. He doesn't count.
No, he's not too good at spelling either.
Well, maybe he isn't, but he's wonderful on the golf course.
Phyllis!
Oh, Edward, I'm sorry. Come here and hold me. Tight.
Yes, I am a bit.
Oh, Edward, listen. They're playing our tune.
Ah, my tune. A Viennese waltz. What a wonderful holiday that was in Vienna. What beautiful memories it brings back.
Oh, but Edward, I went there alone. You stayed here with my sister.
I know. What beautiful memories it brings back.
Edward, it's a gentleman's excuse me.
Oh, so it is. Excuse me, Tom. Phyllis, aren't you coming in? Everyone's wondering where you are.
Well, they'll have to manage without me.
But it's the last waltz, Phyllis. Phyllis, it won't be the same without you. We need you.
Oh, very well.
Thank you. Listen to this. A very funny story. This will make you laugh. Well, it won't make everybody laugh. Well, that, of course, is a matter of circumstances. I mean, if you happen to be at this moment pinned to the living room wall by a sex-starved gorilla, then a wry smile is as much as we can hope for. And those viewers who might be watching on a portable television while plunging over a waterfall in a canoe, or are perhaps tied to the railway lines, are not going to get as much out of a joke as, say, an audience sitting comfortably here in the studio, you know, with a complimentary bag of sweets and funny hats. Mind you, we do actually take all this into account when we are compiling our viewing figures, you know. And in case you've ever wondered how we compile the viewing charts, well, here at the BBC, I'll tell you how we do it. At the BBC here, we have a team of highly skilled public relations experts who go out every night and look in people's windows. And if you're watching us, they make a note of it. And if you're watching the other side, they knock on the door and run away. Now, the other side have an even more insidious trick. They ring you up, you see, and if you're watching this side, they invite you to an orgy. Ooh. And before you know what, you're in a London hotel, surrounded by beautiful girls and champagne. And you've missed Panorama. So you viewers at home, please don't answer the phone for the next few minutes. Otherwise, you might be out enjoying yourselves. Instead of listening to this story, which is about a time, years ago, when I very nearly appeared at the Mechanics' Institute, Biggleswade. Now, the Mechanics' Institute, Biggleswade, at that period of time, ranked in popularity as an entertainment venue somewhere between the Scouts' Hut at Stoke Poges and the Blackwall Tunnel. Now, my agent, I was talking about, who incidentally is now very well off indeed. He's got a 15-roomed house and a riding stables and a grouse moor on his yacht. In Great Cumberland Place. But I shouldn't have said that. He'll have the screwsman round now. But things were different then. I went to see him where he was staying, and these dear old, the days departed. I went to see him where he was staying, in the gents' toilet at Euston Station. And I'll never forget him, sitting there in his... in his peak-toed Wellingtons, and his army greatcoat, and his blue plastic pixie hood, smoking a toilet roll. Ronnie said, I'm not going to try to deceive you, he said. Business has been very quiet lately. He said, apart from Fred Wilby and his dancing tortoise, you are the only act I've got on the books. But at last, he said, your big opportunity has arrived, he said. You are going to star in the late-night spectacular floor show at the Mechanics Hall Institute, Biggleswade. He said, you open tonight, don't be late, they close at 7. Now, with that, he had taken the bag of crisps from a passing child and he made a run for the exit. Now, at last, we come to the funny bit I was telling you about. I am on a train to Biggleswade, and we've been going along for quite a time when I happened to say to the ticket collector, how long is it before we get to Biggleswade? Well, he said, it's about 10 minutes. I said, oh, good, because I'm getting off there. He said, do you mind if I watch? He said, because I've never seen anybody get off a train going at 90 miles an hour. Which was his rather kind of chic way of breaking it to me that the train didn't stop at Biggleswade. So I explained the situation to him and he said, listen. He said, dry your eyes. Come on now, boo-boos. He said, dry your eyes, boo-boos. Give us a little smile, he said. That's better, he said, because I've got an idea. He said, supposing I ask the driver to slow down going through the station, and I get hold of you by the loose skin at the back of your neck, and you set your legs going, then I lower you onto the platform and Bob's your uncle. So a few minutes later, there I was in midair, suitcase in each hand, feet twinkling away like that. And I touched the ground and just stopped at the end of the platform, waved goodbye to the ticket collector, when the guard leaned out, grabbed me and yanked me into his van. He said, you nearly missed it, didn't you?
Patient. A letter is delivered by hand from no less an address than Buckingham Palace itself, and my husband tells me to be patient. Richard, really?
I'm sorry, my dear, to be a trifle slow, but reading wasn't my best subject at Eton. That's why I had to give up any idea of following a profession and became an MP.
How far have you got?
I'll tell you this much. It's addressed to both of us.
Here, let me read it. To Sir Richard and Lady Bellamy.
There we are, right so far.
I have the honour to inform you that His Majesty would deem it a privilege to dine with you on May the 21st at 8 o'clock at your residence in Belgrave Square.
That's here.
His Majesty will, of course, be incognito. I have the honour to remain, etc. Arthur Wormington, Private Secretary to His Majesty. Oh, Richard, I think I'm going to faint.
Here, lie down on the sofa and I'll undo something for you.
No, I haven't got time for that. I'm far too excited. The King dining here. It must be because of that chance meeting at the garden party. You remember, you weren't there.
How could I remember if I wasn't there?
I told you about it. I met him and now he wants to dine here. And all because I offered him a pressed tongue sandwich.
Are you sure that's all you offered him?
Don't be silly, Richard. Now, we must prepare.
I'll put the potatoes on.
Richard! It must be kept secret from the neighbours. Remember, he will be incognito the whole time.
From what I hear, he always is these days. Can't do his liver any good. I'll ring for Hudson.
You rang, sir.
Ah, Hudson. That was quick.
No. I came in just before you rang, sir.
Ah, that's what I mean. Your mistress wants a word with you.
What, you mean she's here in the house now?
Lady Bellamy.
Oh, I see. I'm awfully sorry. Yes. My lady.
We are expecting a very distinguished visitor to dinner on Friday, Hudson.
Oh, would it be a fellow MP at all, Sir Richard?
No, someone of far greater stature than me.
Oh, really? Who could that possibly be?
His Majesty King Edward.
What, the 7th, you mean?
Well, naturally, Edward VI died in 1553.
Did he, by Jove? That's something else they didn't teach us at Eton. Hang on a minute, that can't be quite correct, surely. I mean, that would make this one about 300 years old.
No, silly, there have been others in between.
Excuse me, Millie, while you're sorting out that historical point, I wonder if I might inform the staff of the occasion. Oh, by the way, the reason I came in the first place was to ask my lady if it would be possible to borrow the morning room this afternoon. It's for my evening classes.
What?
Well, you see, I'm working this evening, you see, and so the morning room would be ideal for this afternoon.
I'm sorry, I'm a trifle confused, Hudson. You're not asking for the whole day off, are you?
Oh, no, Sir Richard. No. You see, I'm working this morning and this evening, so I thought we'd have this afternoon off, you see, for the evening classes.
In the morning room?
In the morning room, yes.
Well, of course, by all means, Hudson, provided you put in a little appearance from time to time.
Oh, certainly, yes. Will that be all, my lady?
Yes, thank you very much indeed. Very nice to pass the time of day with you, Hudson.
Thank you, my lady. Thank you, Sir Richard. Where's it?
My dear, what are these evening classes?
He gives the maids lessons in deportment and physical fitness. He likes to show them a few wrinkles.
I'm sure he does. Nevertheless, I'm sure the King's visit will give the maids something to occupy them. I dare say he can't wait to tell them the news.
His Majesty's coming to dinner.
Ooh.
His Majesty's coming to dinner.
Oh, that did not hurt, that did.
His Majesty's coming to dinner.
Hello, is anybody in there? Hello, Mother, if you're there, will you answer me? Hello. Oh, these damn newfangled things, really. We spend a fortune installing them and can't get them to work. Can't get Mother to hear me.
Mother's not on the telephone.
That's no excuse. What?
Listen, I've got something far more important to talk about. I've been having a word with Rose, the head housemaid. And Richard, she's very distressed.
I absolutely deny it. The whole thing is a tissue of lies. I was at an all-night sitting. What did she say?
She merely told me that Hudson the butler is missing.
Oh, that's different then.
Richard, have you got a guilty conscience?
Certainly not. You can't afford one as an MP. No, not at all. Hudson missing, you say?
Yes, he's not been seen since this morning. Apparently, a man in a bowler hat called at the front door and after a hurried consultation left again, afterwards followed by Hudson. And then later in the morning, one of the maids saw him with a large bag in Burlington Arcade.
Did the maid recognize her?
Recognize who?
The large bag he was with, dear. It wasn't Gertie from the Gertie, was it? Because I know he's been hanging around the stage door after her ever since he saw her as Dick in the panto.
Richard, I don't know what you're talking about. All I know is that the king is coming to dinner here tonight, and we have no butler.
Good grief. What are we going to do?
Richard, you will have to be the butler.
Oh, I couldn't possibly. I've never buttled in my life. I just would not know where to begin. There's no good going on. I wouldn't...
Look here. His Majesty doesn't know you. So you will just have to be the butler. I will not have a strange one in this house tonight. We have 6 hours to prepare.
Oh, it's absolutely impossible. Anyway, my tailcoat is at the cleaner's.
Then you will have to wear Hudson's. Richard, I'm determined.
Good evening, your lord, sir.
Oh, this is wonderful, wonderful. It's beautiful. I love your name.
Soup, me lady.
Thank you, Hudson.
Oh, he's going to do a conjuring trick. You're going to pull a rabbit out of the soup. Huh?
That's what went into it.
Oh.
That and a few other things.
Oh, such as what?
Such as this sleeve, for example. Feel that, it's absolutely soaked. Would me lady mind very much if I remove my coat to serve the soup?
You will do no such thing, Hudson. Where's your decorum?
Could be anywhere under this lot.
Kindly serve the soup and don't be impertinent. More wine, Teddy.
Oh,
Excuse me a minute.
that would be delightful. I'm sorry, my dear. Where do you get it? Hmm?
My husband gets it, specially.
Oh, where from?
Downstairs.
You'll get it specially upstairs if you carry on like that. Shut up. More soup, me lady.
No, thank you, Hudson.
Oh, dear, I do wish you'd make up your mind.
No more for me, please.
I insist. It's oyster soup. A little more, Hudson.
Oh, I see. You think I will be needing it later? In that case, thank you.
Sir Richard, oh my goodness, you've scalded me, sir. I'll never wear a sporran again, sir.
Gracious, it's Hudson.
What is the meaning of this?
Oh, I'm awfully sorry, madam. Will you ever forgive me? It was done with the best intentions.
But why?
Well, the King's secretary called here this morning and cancelled the visit. I just didn't have the heart to tell you.
And you did this all out of loyalty?
Oh, yes, Sir Richard, yes. Madam, will you ever forgive me?
Oh, of course, Hudson. Come upstairs and I'll see how badly you're burned.
Oh, no. Oh, no, it's absolutely nothing, my lady.
But are you sure it might need a poultice?
Oh, no, I'm sure it wouldn't need
Just a minute, my dear. You're not going up the stairs with him. Not the way you've been behaving, my girl.
Then he must remove his trousers here. Now come along, Hudson.
Oh, no, my lady, no. Oh, please, my lady.
Now, look here.
But...
Your Majesty.
I changed my mind and came after all. But why didn't you tell me it was this kind of party?
Well, that's all for this week. However, here is some late news. There was a fracas in London in the small hours of this morning involving one Seamus O'Higgins. After a lengthy argument, O'Higgins was arrested by P.C. Wallace Grudgeon, who claimed that his nose was broken in 3 places: Marble Arch, Piccadilly Circus and London Bridge.
A Danish importer who lost a trunk full of highly pornographic books on the luggage escalator at London Airport has at last managed to find them. His trunk came up last Wednesday, and his case comes up next Thursday.
The Home Office announced this evening the number of prisoners who have escaped from Her Majesty's prisons during the year. These are Wormwood Scrubs 19, Dartmoor 12, Durham 6 and Wandsworth 21. Wormwood Scrubs now meet Wandsworth in the final.
A recent airline strike has meant that a Hampshire woman not only had to carry her luggage onto the plane, but also had to finish her journey by rail. She said she left Herne by plane for Albania and reached Albania by train with a hernia.
The Leith police are said to be searching for several thistle sifters thought to be suffering from thick heads after sampling thousands of small thin polythene sachets containing 36 sorts of thick syrup, stolen from Thirsk between Thursday and Saturday. The aforesaid thistle sifters are thought to have swallowed the syrup by sucking it through thick straws. The Leith police say they can spot the thieves by the thickness of their speech, and as soon as they come forth, they will be summoned forthwith. They are asking all witnesses to step forward and speak out, but my advice is don't risk it. They'll stick you inside as soon as they look at you.
So it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.